right? And you want to continue to play, and you're in orange chips, and you go, actually, I'm going to place there for the next spin. Now, the croupier wouldn't know if you've just placed them or if they were part of the original action, so they would say, these are off limits, you can place it anywhere else, anywhere next door to it, but not in association with the winner.
But if they're not looking, right, because you get your chips and just do that by mistake.
What if you did that? Say, do that again, lean over and do that, and some guy just grab you like that and say, right, son, out the door.
But who would do that in a casino?
The dealer would.
The dealer would.
Simply,
you wouldn't manhandle someone like that.
When he plays, there's not TIP, so we'd kick him out.
But in the UK, there's no TIP.
Ah, soon to come, I believe.
No, you believe wrong, because they did change the date, they did change the law back in September. Nothing's been done about it.
No, apparently June this year, ladies and gents.
Next month?
Yeah, June is coming. It is the next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because what I want to do, on the actual phone system, I want to have an option where you can tip the presenter.
The presenter? Who's spinning the ball here?
Who's asking you to spin?
Who's creating the winners?
Who's closing the table?
Okay, we'll pool it. 60-40.
No way.
70-30.
$5.95 to you. Good luck. Table's closed.
95 to me. Thanks, Jeff. Here we
go. 5
then,
to you.
There's your spin.
Now you can see how we're doing it. Every single 3 minutes we give you a brand new game, okay? And in that game you can play the same as the last. It's up to you how you play your game. Lindsay, Greywing, Postman, Hannibal, Ekrams, Callus, Getter and Doroth. You can still actually add a Y to that, Doroth, if you want to. Bezosm, German, Bitham6, at the R72. Could be Atha though. Hades, Kickerman, Hadamard, loads of winners there, including Wettin, Watsonia, Rockster, Slitwheel, Chris 18, Bensper, and El Tanning. You see, if you make those names a lot easier, we could read them out a lot quicker, and we'll get them guaranteed as well. But you know, if you are going to make work for us, then give us a tip, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not talking about horsing tip. Yeah. I'm talking about real hard cash. Because to be honest, in a casino, I don't actually think tipping a croupier is the right thing to do.
Jem, please.
I'm not a croupier.
Trying to promote this.
No.
No?
I would prefer...
Okay, Jem's not in the tip pool, ladies and gents. Forget the percentage, just tip the dealers, fine.
See, in a casino, it's their job. They get paid to do that anyway.
Do they?
What? Do you do it for free?
No, I don't know. They work for tips. So if you weren't tipping them, they were doing it for free.
See, that phrase really annoys me. Especially if you're a waiter or a waitress. Okay, my dad was a waiter back in the day. And if he went to a restaurant here in the UK, even now, and he gets really bad service, he'll still tip. And I said to him, Dad, why'd you do that? He said, well, unless you're a waiter or a waitress, you'll never know. You know, like you say, you work for your tips. But what a stupid thing to do.
Have you ever worked for your tips?
Get a proper job.
Have you ever worked for your tips?
No.
No? Well, there you go then. Just answer it yourself. You don't know. Have you done it before?
I had a choice. I had a choice. I could have been a waiter. I chose not to.
There's many other professions that earn tips as part of their wages.
Would you call, if you say, for example, you worked in the city and you got a bonus, would you say a bonus is having a tip by your boss?
Not by the boss, it's by the company, isn't it? You don't get tipped necessarily by the boss, because many corporates aren't, there's boards involved and stuff.
Well, I own a business, I'd tip my workers.
Would you?
Yeah.
Are you sure they're not part of the bonus scheme where based on how productive they are?
No, not at all. I mean, my tips are basically watch Channel 851 because you could win. That's my tip to the workers. Yeah. To Patel Corporation. Or Patel Industries, ladies and gents.
Jem, you don't know what it's all about yet, do you? You don't.
About what?
When you go back to a casino and you have a little flutter, and you're playing and that, you see a different response if you tip the dealers. You should do anyway, if the professional.
Let me tell you something, right? You should know this, you've been doing it for a couple of decades, but I'll tell you anyway. You've been a croupier.
Just tell me again. I've heard this one before.
But listen, you do very well. You know, you've had your experience, you do very well. There's 12 people around the table. If I were to tip you, what's the difference between how you give me my chips?
They all play on the table at the same time. Those 12.
I've run out of time. I'll tell you how next game. Good luck.
Please, Jem. More professional. Here we go, then, Jen. Cheers.
Formerly known as Tony's Den. Not no more. It's now Gordon's Den, number 10. But for how much longer? Warden.
When's your next holiday?
That's right. Ekrams, Sukuba, Abantu, Callus, Atha 72, Besism, and Victoria there with your 150. Well done. Greywing, Lindsay, had Ahmad. Slitwell, Hades, Volleymon, Hannibal and Torihiko. They're playing very well. Well done. Doroth, Solosha, Behem 6, Jorvik, Brian 14, Rockster, German and Lesaf there, all winning on the third page. Page 4. I think there possibly... There is! It's Lady Hawk with your £3. So congratulations to you. Well done. So we were talking about tips earlier on.
Yeah.
Okay. And what were we saying?
We were just talking about
the fact that you want tips. Oh, right, this is it. Okay. Say, for example, now here at Smart Life Casino, we could have...
Oh, you said there was 12 people
50,000 people around the table. But in a casino, you probably have, what, about 9, 12
Well, you're limited
people?
just by the space, aren't you?
So 12 people, I would say, playing.
Yeah, you probably could,
Okay.
yeah.
I am one of the 12 people playing.
Yeah.
I am one of the I'm one of the people that actually tipped you.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't happen in real life because I wouldn't tip a croupier.
Okay.
But the other 10 didn't.
Yeah.
What would you do for me that's different that you wouldn't do for the others?
Oh, you see a big difference, Jem. If they're professional croupiers and it's a busy game, say for example you're here but you like to place your chips on a low number or something like that, and you're leaving your chips there and you're going number 1, number 4, 0, number 6, and another player over there is doing exactly the same but they're tipping. Whose chip placement are they going to place before you? And also, if they run out of time, your action, unless it's placed on the layout, is no action. So they'll just avoid you. When you want colour change all the time, let's say when you've run out of your colour chips when you're playing, you go, actually I need another 50 chips, give us another 50 chips, and they're going about to spin, they'll just look at you and spin up, and then go grab yours and go change after the spin. So they'll just do subtle things to remind you of what they're doing there. They're looking after you by keeping you informed on the game, to keeping you apace the game as well.
What a horrible person.
No.
What a horrible person.
When you go to a restaurant,
when you go to a different table,
and you know if you're a regular, say you dine out for your lunch, and you always tip the waitress and stuff like that, you can always guess your coffee cup's never empty, she'll come and fill up your coffee cup, you know, you don't even have to ask.
That's slightly different. You know, when I go to a restaurant, I will tip a waiter or a waitress.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What if the food's awful?
What I don't like to do is tip a taxi driver.
You never tip a taxi driver?
They're getting money out of me anyway. What service didn't they provide for me that I've already paid for?
They got you from A to B.
That's their job.
Yeah, but they fed you at a restaurant, that's their job.
What, the taxi driver?
No, if you went to a restaurant and you tip him, they fed you the same.
I pay you the bill at the end, don't I?
Yeah, but why are you tipping them?
Because she's a nice waitress.
Well, if it's a nice waiter.
No, well, I don't go for waiters, I go for waitresses. Anyway, the table's closed. Good luck.
Here we go, ladies. It's just... Number 23 is a tier number, ladies and gents. 23 red.
No, 23, not 22, but I'll move that over for you anyway. There it is.
Teamwork.
Sorry?
Teamwork.
Teamwork. You see, it's the same thing.
T
but different.
for tips and teamwork.
He wants his tips, doesn't he? But he's not done anything for it. Players and now winners. We've got Lindsay, Victoria, Wettin, Sonia, Bezosom, Slitwheel, Kittian and Abantu there on the first page. We're talking about tips, ladies and gentlemen. Should we tip or should we not tip? What's your tip? Hadamard, Stato, Hades, Atha72 and Rockster. So you said, you know, you should tip a croupier if he or she's looking after you or you're doing really, really well. And then you also said, what if you went to a restaurant and you went to that restaurant, what, once a week, would you tip the waitress? Because, you always go there. What if you had a certain business or, you know, you kept on ordering things on the internet and they'd arrive and a courier would come round to your house. You'd have the same courier once a week, twice a week. Would you tip him or her?
No, not necessarily, but that's a different type. There's only certain people. Do you tip at
Not
Christmas
really.
time?
I mean, you imagine if you've ordered something really fragile from the internet.
Yeah.
What's stopping him getting the box and dropping it by mistake and then giving it to you?
It's true, yeah, there's a possibility that he could, but it's not one of those industries that it's a tipping industry. It's not really a service, him delivering the courier and stuff, is it? If you particularly ask the shop, could you deliver it by 9 o'clock the next morning, and could you install it, then a tip might be, you know, one of the things that you would do in that scenario.
So if you bought yourself a washing machine, say for example,
yeah,
and they came around and they fitted it in your in your
if
kitchen
they took away the old one, they fitted it in and everything.
You'd give them a tip?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Means yes on TV, but no in reality.
Well, it depends if I'd paid for the service, because you have to pay for the service sometimes, can't you?
Yeah, you got to pay like, for delivery.
Originally, if you was there, they said, so I'm having problems taking out the old one before you arrived. He said, no problem, I've got a spare set, and he just did it all for you. I said, any charge? He said, no, you're all right. I'll probably give him a bung after that.
Again, probably. Means yes on TV, no in reality.
You can't really say, because it's not really a service industry, but what are the givens, really? Casinos, you tip, you should tip if you're playing in casinos and it's allowed. Restaurants.
You wouldn't tip a fruit machine, would you?
No, you're allowed restaurants. It's a machine, Jem. It's a machine.
Machines have feelings.
Taxi drivers.
Look at Short Circuit. I'm alive!
What else are you allowed to tip, or you're supposed to tip? What else are you supposed to tip?
A waiter or waitress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So restaurants, cafes, that sort of thing, yo. Taxi drivers,
How about
casinos.
your barbers? Hairdresser.
Hairdresser, do you tip? You obviously don't tip yours. You need to finish off that haircut, doesn't it?
I went today, actually, at Barry, the cutting room.
Did you tip him?
I don't tip him because I go there every 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
My God, you are so tight. So when he goes £14 and you give him 15, you're still waiting for that pound.
£10. I'm not going to go there and carry the extra weight for that pound, am I, for a tip?
How far have you had to travel to find this Barry?
He's only 4 minutes down the road.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's always running 15 minutes late, for God's sake. That's why he doesn't get a tip from me. If you're watching Barry, I'm only joking. Same thing, but different. Table's closed. Good luck.
Here we go then, Jen. Here's your spin.